Hello again, everyone. Will you please welcome the winner of the BAFTA for Best Animated Film, the director of Pixar's Coco, Lee Unkrich, and the president of Pixar Animation Studios, Jim Morris.
Congratulations. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi.
How does it feel? It's a
How
tough
does it
one to
feel?
start.
It's awesome. This is my second one, but
Indeed.
it feels just as exciting and special as the first one.
So there's no sense of taking it for granted.
Oh, gosh, zero.
Excellent. And Coco is such an incredible film, such an incredible exploration of a world we hadn't seen on the big screen before. Can you briefly talk about the genesis of that film, where it came from for you?
Sure. After I finished directing Toy Story 3, started to think about what I wanted to do next, and I had long been interested in the Mexican celebration of Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And as I started to think about it, I realized that I hadn't seen any depiction of it in any big way in any film, live action or animation. And so that was really the beginning of what became a 6-year journey of many trips down to Mexico, research trips, surrounding ourselves with lots of cultural consultants, because from the very beginning, we wanted to do everything we could to tell a story that was not only entertaining, but was also respectful and authentic.
And Jim, as the president of Pixar Animation Studios, what does it mean to you to see the studio doing pretty well?
Well, it's great.
Okay?
We're really proud of this film and so glad that BAFTAs recognized it. There's a lot of things going in America now that are not about inclusion and diversity, and having a film that leans into that so heavily makes us very proud at this point in history. And we're just glad everybody liked it here too.
I'm still crying, actually. So any questions now for Lee and Jim? Yes, please, right here in the front row. Thank you.
So I ugly cried to Coco more than I've ever ugly cried in my life. Is that a plan when you go in to just destroy audiences?
It's not a plan, but we knew pretty early on that our ending was going to have that effect on people. We always show the movies internally while we're developing them over the years, and I think the very first time we screened the movie, one of the other producers at the studio came out completely weeping, even though it was just storyboards at that point and we didn't have any of the real actors in it. So we tried to hold on to that feeling to the end.
That must be the moment you know you've got it. Storyboards and people are crying.
Yeah, you know you're onto something, and then it's just a matter of not screwing it up.
Excellent. Any other questions? Yes, please. Right here at the back, and right here again. Thank you.
Hi. Obviously, we've spoken that it is a tearjerker. Do you think Disney and children's films should deal with loss and death as a whole?
All the great ones always have, pretty much. You remember how Bambi opens, and I think that we try to make films that don't speak down to an audience and don't speak to children. We try to make films that we would want to go see and take our families to, and that will play for everyone. And we try to deal with themes that are about life and in a respectful way, hopefully, that isn't inappropriate for children, but we try to make films that everyone can go see and enjoy.
Yes, please.
Anna from the iPaper. Branching out from that, do you think there's a taboo when it comes to portraying death, life and death with kids' films, and have you tried to tackle that taboo with this film?
Well, I think that in the past 100 years or so, there has been a bit of a taboo around death that wasn't around prior to that. Our goal in making this wasn't to try to tackle that in any way. We're just trying to tell a story about the human condition. And these are all issues that everybody has to deal with, no matter where you are on the planet. So we didn't feel like it was something to shy away from. And in the end, we knew that we weren't really making a film about death or about coping with death. We were making a film about life and family and celebrating another culture.
I think I think the thing that inspired us about Lee's excitement about this idea was the notion that the people who aren't with you anymore still are with you, and that's something that the Mexican culture embraces so fully and is really kind of uplifting to us, and we were very inspired by Lee's vision for that.
Yes, please.
It's Natalie Jameson from Bauer. Hi. As a parent myself and as people who work at Pixar and have done for a long time, the way that people watch films now means that when you have kids, they watch them a million times. I wondered if you had like a particularly good story about people who've written to you about a film they've seen the most or something like that.
Well, I do know that I've had lots of parents come up to me over the years thanking me for making movies that they don't mind watching a million times.
Yeah, also, we also get thanked for the babysitting function that they perform so people can go do a few things while the kids are watching the film.
And they thank us for films that if their kids fall asleep, they're happy to finish watching on their own.
Yes, please, right here. Thank you. Just this gentleman here with the bow tie.
Just like Coco, Toy Story 3 was very emotional. Will Toy Story 4 be as emotional as the third one?
Well, I can't tell you anything specific about Toy Story 4, but I can tell you that at our best, we tell stories that kind of have every experience in them. They're funny, they're scary, and hopefully emotional. Because at the end of the day, I think those are the best movies that kind of take you through the full range of experiences and are movies that make you think about something after the credits roll and you leave the theater.
Have the Toy Story 4 storyboards made you cry? Be honest, you can tell me.
They have made me cry in many ways over the course of it because it is not an easy journey or a smooth journey, but they're shaping up nicely.
No film that we've ever made at Pixar has been a smooth journey.
Okay, excellent. Last question from this lady here. Thank you.
Hi. So Miguel's family is obviously against him making music, but he still fights for his dream.
Mm-hmm.
Was that also a really important part of the film to show that you should always fight for what you want, even if your family is against it?
Well, we wanted to go a little deeper than that because we'd seen stories about people fighting for their dreams and kind of going off into the world and facing all those challenges. Ultimately, what was interesting to us was telling the story of a kid whose dreams and his true self were kind of antithetical to what his family wanted for him, but he still loved his family. And I think a lot of people are in that position where they don't want to just leave their family and go follow their dreams. They want to figure out a way to have both. And that's Miguel's struggle through a lot of the film.
And Lee, you're famously a huge fan of The Shining.
Yes.
Any Shining references in Coco that people may have missed?
There are 3 in Coco, yeah. And one of them, I just told a journalist the other day, because there was one that nobody had found anywhere in the film, but I don't think I should say it today. It's more fun to look for them, isn't it?
Fair enough. And how does Pixar celebrate winning big awards like this? Do you take the day off now when you get back to California?
You know, we really celebrate when we finish the film, working together on the film, and we have a big wrap party where everybody comes together. And I think it's we never know for sure how they're going to land when they get out there, but we try to do our best with everyone and kind of celebrate that moment with our colleagues that made it, because there's hundreds of people that touch these films by the time they're through. And then, of course, we'll have a champagne toast tomorrow at Pixar to celebrate this. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'll let you get to that. Please give it up once again for the winners of Best Animated Film from Coco.
Thank you all.
Lee Unkrich and Jim Morris. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey